President Trump is putting the pressure on Iran during his Middle East trip. Speaking in Qatar last night, he warned Tehran that time is running out to reach an agreement on its nuclear program.
A high-ranking Iranian official said his country is ready to make a deal. Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
During Wednesday's state dinner in Qatar, Trump called on the emir to use his influence with Iran to help make a deal and warned time is running out for Iran to make a decision.
I mean, we have two courses. There's only two courses. There aren't 3 or 4 or 5. There's 2. There's a friendly and a non-friendly. And the non-friendly is a violent course, and I don't want that. I'll say it up front. I don't want that. But they have to get moving.
A recent report from NBC News says Iran is ready to make concessions in its nuclear program in exchange for lifting sanctions. The report quotes a top nuclear advisor to the Ayatollah as saying Iran would commit to not making nuclear weapons, disposing of its highly enriched uranium, and allow international inspectors to supervise its process of enriching uranium for civilian use. However, Iran's president publicly criticized President Trump's statements and says his country will not bow to any bully. Trump and Sheikh Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar, signed both economic and defense agreements. Al Thani called Trump's visit historic.
I think after signing these documents, we are going to another level of relationship between Qatar and the United States. So I just wanted to thank you, Mr. President, again for this historic visit.
There are also concerns about the U.S. moving closer to a country known for supporting terror groups. In 2022, the Biden administration designated Qatar as a major non-NATO ally, a designation that carries military and economic privileges. Qatar also hosts CENTCOM, the largest U.S. base in the Middle East. But Yigal Karmon, founder of Memory.org, says Qatar also hosted Hamas leaders for years, sponsors Islamist terror, and helped build up Hamas.
Qatar gave them billions of dollars over the years. They became a tiny empire, military empire. All the missiles to Tel Aviv, all the almost 40,000 weapon holders, killers, all the drones, all the motorcycles, what have you, all their equipment, everything, every single missile is Qatar. So Qatar is Hamas, Hamas is Qatar. They go together.
CBN's Raj Nair spoke with Middle East analyst Eric Stakelbeck about President Trump hoping Syria's new president will join the Abraham Accords.
Does he have nefarious intentions towards Israel, or could he truly join the Abraham Accords? In my experience, Raj, covering this for a long time, being on the ground in the region and even interviewing terrorists and former terrorists, the jihadi leopard usually doesn't change its spots. Let's hope that it's different in Syria. President Trump taking a big chance here, but he's doing it at the behest of those Gulf leaders, the Saudis, the Qataris, the UAE. They wanted Syria to join the community of nations.
Trump told reporters on Air Force One that despite the fact he's not traveling to Israel, he's not sidelining the Jewish state.
This is good for Israel. Having a relationship like I have with these countries, Middle Eastern countries, essentially all of them, I think it's very good for us.
President Trump ends his Middle East trip to the UAE today. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, time will tell if this has been a good trip for Israel or has it led to Israel being isolated. I agree with Eric Stakelbeck that the jihadi leopard doesn't really change its spots. And so when you are looking for somehow their ideology to change because you've gotten into a trade deal with them or you've offered them trading status that they didn't enjoy before, I'd be worried if you think that's going to change what they fundamentally believe. And the fundamental belief in the jihadi community is absolute. Israel has to be wiped off the map. And that is something they hold as an article of faith. This isn't something that is a diplomatic goal or a military goal. This is because they believe their religion demands it. That's why the attack on October 7th was called the Al-Aqsa Flood. What they were trying to do is get to the Temple Mount. That is That was the goal, and that has been the goal of ISIS. That's been the goal of the new leadership in Syria. Qatar is clearly funding that goal. So I hope we have our eyes open as to what we're dealing with, and unfortunately, the ideology hasn't changed.